The other things that I need to focus and I need to teach you is that by means of this technique, you are able to calculate and measure the different height of the phases inside of a tank too. How? Just imagine I have a tank here, and in this tank I have 3 different liquids. For example, here we have emulsion, and just imagine here I have some oil, and the lowest or the below part is related to water. As you know that water is considered as a case of a conductive fluid. As I told you before, the dielectric constant for this one is considered around 85 or 86. So I want to tell you that this one has a really high conductivity factor too. If I want to write the conductivity factor of this one, I can just tell you that the conductivity of this one for sure is greater than 100 microsiemens per centimeter. I'm totally sure you can remember something about the conductivity factor, because before, for case of magnetic flow meter, I just mentioned about some conductivity factors for you too. So for case of water, I can just tell you that for sure it's greater than 100 microsiemens per centimeter. And for these types of measurement, do not forget the least, or actually the below fluid or the below phase must be conductive one. If this one were not conductivity, your device, your capacitive level meter, would not be able to measure the amount of the height too. So this one is so important for these different types of phases. The below phase must be totally conductive one. And here about the, for example, oil, the conductivity of this one, for example, must be less than 1 microsiemens per centimeter. For this case, as you can see, if I consider 2 props here, I can just consider the amount of the height inside of this tank too. But do not forget, when I'm just talking about height, I'm just talking you about the total height. I want to tell you that for case of total height of the fluid, this technique is acceptable, or this technique can just measure this item accurately and precisely too. But do not forget this item, that this device or this instrument cannot define each level separately, and cannot actually announce or inform you about the separation. This instrument cannot measure the different or the separate level individually for you or precisely, because actually, as I mentioned that before, just the total height could be measured precisely and accurately for you. So please do not expect this item from this instrument to just inform you or announce you about each height in the tank individually. About the other parts, I can just mention that this technique has a really fantastic response time too. I can just tell you that the response time of this device is really short, or to some extent is really less. I want to tell you that the time that you have just a really small change in case of height, the device can just detect it and find it very fast, and just sends the related signal as a kind of 4 to 20 milliampere to the control room quickly. And in this case, you can just find out about the changes very fast and rapidly. Last but not least, this item has its own advantages and benefits too. I can just tell you that this device doesn't have any movement or mechanical parts to be, for example, eroded or damaged, or to some extent, for example, smashed in case of exposure to fluids or things like that. So in this case, this device has a lot of advantages too. About the other thing, I can mention that this device has a wide range of application for different types of amount of pressure or temperature of the fluid as well. I can just tell you that up to 100 bar, or even for temperature up to 200 degrees of centigrade, this device is totally applicable, and you can just use this device in your project easily and efficiently.